Well, here we are, round number 4 of the season, the Portuguese Grand Prix here in my team. Before though, we jump into the action. If you haven't seen Imola, round number 3, go check it out, link up in the top right. Also, if you're going to enjoy this one, leave a like, and as always, consider hitting the red subscribe button as we're on the road to 100,000 subs, guys, by the end of this year, so any help would be massively appreciated. Now, first things first, we're going to look at some activities. We're going to fill up the schedule and crucially make sure we do some G-Force training for Michael Schumacher. Before we jump into the weekend, we did get hit with a marketing department event, and it's actually a charity event for Michael Schumacher. Now, we had the option to accept or decline. Accept meant a higher acclaim and a lower focus. Declining meant no change whatsoever. So I thought, you know what, for a change, let's accept and do a good gesture, even though it does mean that Michael's focus might drop slightly this weekend. Having said that, with that done, we've kind of got the admin work out of the way and we're now ready for the weekend here at Portugal. First of all, looking at weather forecast, no rain expected, so that's always a bonus. Nice, clean, predictable, straightforward weather conditions are always a good thing in my opinion. Not that I dislike rain, I always welcome rain, but I don't mind having just consistent weather throughout the whole weekend. So yeah, here we are then in Q1 and the start of qualifying. We're going to see if we can go to a good start and see if we can keep our run of good qualifying going. As so far, Bahrain and Imola went pretty well. Round 2 in China was a bit of a messy one, but besides that, we do seem to have qualifying pace this season. On our first lap though, we get put off a little bit by Schwarzman in the Williams, who was on an out lap and wasn't getting out of the way, and I actually went into invalidate. I tried a second push lap on those exact same tyres as we went for a cool down after invalidating on the first one, and unfortunately the exact same place as the first one, we invalidate again for a second time. Luckily, if you look in the bottom right, we've got just about enough fuel, so once again I'm going to back off and cool off the car and the engine, and we're going to go for one more lap. And this is going to be my final attempt on these tyres as we have no more fuel left. Into turn 1 though, we have a bit of a moment over the curb. Luckily we don't invalidate as we actually lost time, went slower, and we're nearly 3 tenths down as we now skip towards the end of the lap. At this point I tried to push on, struggling with the car again. There you can see the oversteer as the rear end kicks out, but crucially we've got a lap done and we are going to get a lap on the board. Let's see where this is going to put us. So it's a bit of a scruffy one, but the middle of the lap was pretty decent. Across the line, and it's a 13.0, I think, or what I can tell, or 13.3, I think, on my previous screen. And we go P12 at the time. Looking at the gaps behind, you can see Giovinazzi was about half a second behind in P16. So that was kind of my cue to retire and move into Q2 because I knew we were safe. And you can see Michael Schumacher there up in the top 4 with Perez, Norris, and Verstappen. So yeah, Q1 getting off to a good start after a couple of messy first attempts. The final lap went in, and even though that lap itself was quite messy, it was enough to get through in terms of pace. Q2, fresh set of soft tyres on and dropping the fuel in this time, trying to be a bit more competitive. And we're going to see what this first bank lap gives us. As to be fair, this was much cleaner and much more on the pace, as for some reason my FPS is a little bit choppy. Apologies for that. But across the line, we do a 13.2 from what I can tell, which is a 10th up on our Q2 lap. So only a 10th improvement. It was a clean lap, but not exactly fast. It was just a bit more safer, really. So this is my final attempt in Q2. We're currently P10, so we need this lap, and I'm going to commit. We're going to try and be a bit more aggressive and carry a bit more corner speed and see if we can find some lap time. Turn 1 and 2 perfect. Turn 3, really nice traction out of there and getting a nice bit of momentum through turn 5. Turn 4, heading down towards turn 5 as we have a strong first sector, 10th and a half up into the hairpin. Easy does it, short shifting as we have to control a bit of oversteer, but it actually didn't really cost us time, and we're now nearly 2 tenths up heading into the middle sector and all the twisty parts of the lap here as we try to not invalidate this time over the top of the hill, and we find even more lap time now, 2.5 tenths up here and pushing 3 tenths as we make our way towards the end of sector 2. A little bit wide through there, but we managed to just about get it back for the apex, and we finish the second sector 2.5 tenths up as we have a bit of a snap again there. The rear end getting away from us, and we are right on the edge in terms of grip. Having said that, we're still going faster, we're still finding time, and look at this, we're 3 tenths up heading out of the last final inverted commas corner, as this one is absolutely flat out, and it looks like it's going to be a 3/10 of a second improvement as we cross the line to set a 12.9 and move into the top 3. So that lap, much more like it, much more on the pace, and we'll take that as Q2 comes to an end. we actually still finished in P8 and only got through by less than a tenth in the end as everybody else improved around us. But crucially, both cars in Q3, Michael up in P6 and Pierre Gasly setting the pace in P1 for McLaren. So there's a lot for Q2. As for Q3, the first run, we went out on a used set of tyres. It was the set of soft tyres that we used on our first run in Q2, which was a bit of a safe lap. And this is my banker. As we crossed the line, we set a 12.9, which is our Q2 lap actually, on a used set. So that is a very, very good banker in Q3. And the way to go here is just, all out, give it everything, take maximum risk and leave nothing on the table. And that is what we're going to do now on this very last lap.
Seconds left in the session.
And here we go then, on the run up to the line, we set a 12.6, purple in sector 3, still a tenth and a half off Max Verstappen, but we're on the front row, and that is a big lap. By the end of Q3, we finish in third place. Perez manages to get ahead of us by a fraction, and Verstappen also went on to improve marginally. So the Red Bulls looking pretty quick here in Portugal, but crucially, P3 and P5, Michael up there in the mix as well. And to be fair, he almost got P4 from Lando, and it's good to see Michael Schumacher right on the pace with, I think, one of his better qualifyings. I don't want to say his best of the season, but right up there, both cars in the top 5 and giving us a chance to fight the Red Bull. So yeah, our target is to beat Verstappen and Michael to try and beat Sergio Perez. That's kind of the objective in the race. So there's your top 10 for qualifying. We're now going to move into the action in the race, and we're going to see if we can try and get one up on the Red Bulls after the last race in Imola.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Martinez, Norris, Michael Schumacher and Sainz, Russell, Gasly, Leclerc and Yuki Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Latifi, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Bottas. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Christian Lundgaard and Nobuharu Matsushita, Schwartzman, Eilert, Mazepin and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, let's get down to business, shall we? So, P3, second row of the grid. Both Red Bulls ahead of us. Ideally, I'd like to get at least one of them. I'd like to be behind Verstappen if possible for the race. But then again, this is my team. And in most race starts, I tend to go backwards rather than forwards. So, yeah, it should be a fun race. I think strategy is going to be key. The one stop is going to be the way to go. Now, the game won't allow me to select that option, but the plan is to go soft, medium. Simple as that. One stop is the way to go. What the AR do, who knows, we'll find out. But in terms of fuel, we're going to go with minimum as well. No rain forecast, so yeah, it should be a fun race. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a difficult one. We'll try and do the best we can. I think, like I said, crucially, we've got to make that one stop work and go long. And timing of the pit stops could be key. We may be able to undercut or overcut people, so we'll see what happens. Either way, we need to win this one because the last race was a bit of an L for the championship. So full 25 points would be perfect right about now. Right, let's get into it then, shall we? And let's see how this race goes. 5 red lights. And run away. It's not a good start. We get away poorly. And Verstappen holds on to the lead as well, which is not ideal. We're going to retake Norris around the outside, so we'll get back ahead of him for now. I've gone down on the front wing for the race. I want to have a bit more stability and straight line speed, and hopefully it won't affect us too badly in the corners. Let's see what the AI's pace is in these first 2 laps. Important to try and stay within DRS range of Perez, but I think we're going to struggle around here. Tyre overheating is a real issue, and I think I'm going to suffer with that more than the AI, so that's going to be a problem for us. But hopefully, if we can survive this soft tyre stint and then get onto the mediums, we could be loving life. Oh, the car feels very on edge, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, this is going to be tough, very tough. The Red Bulls look very quick. Already I can just see how they're just dropping me. The final sector is my strongest one, to be fair, so we should pull some time back, but even still it's not going to be a lot. Also after lap 2 the AI always stop running full power, so that will help us out as well. Let's see, it's going to be a tricky race. 32 laps remain. Gap to Perez 1.4. Yep, here comes the overheating. We're already starting to struggle, and we've got Lando 4 tenths behind, so
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I think we're going to struggle this race, at least on the soft tyres. Looking at the tyre temps, I'm expecting that struggle to continue into the mediums, in fairness. But we'll try and do what we can. Hopefully we can just find something from somewhere. Lando's going to get me here with DRS. It's pretty close. I have to turn my ERS off through the final corner. Otherwise, we'll just spin off the track. But to be fair, we do seem to have some good straight line speed, so the front wing adjustment seems to be working. The Red Bulls are so fast. Their pace is nuts. Even Perez is flying away, but I mean, yeah, this is a pace that we can't match. Unfortunately, we're only 5 laps in and Max is 6.1 seconds up the road. We're going to be praying that the mediums are a better tyre, because even then I think we're already too far away to win this race. The gap's too big. Already relying on a safety car or a VSC if there's something special to happen.
Perez ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 4.6 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 15.1. You're losing around 7 tenths a lap.
Oh, we got yellow. Hang on. Yes. It's Verstappen.
Yellow flag.
I'm pretty sure it's Verstappen. Yes, it is. Verstappen at the race. Norris trying to go up the inside in a yellow flag zone. And Norris has half spun.
Okay, clear.
Absolute chaos. To be fair, I didn't see Lando's red arrow until the very last second. But even then, I don't know why he's overtaken in a yellow flag zone. But Max Verstappen's out of the race. Now that is what I'm talking about. Bit of luck going our way out of nowhere. We obviously had 4 retirements last season. And, you know, Max hurt us quite badly because of that in the championship, so it's good to get some luck float our way this season. Perez is your race leader. I still don't have the pace to catch him, but at least we've got a gap to Lando now, which may have happened without, you know, by accident, but I didn't mean for that to happen, but we've got it anyway. Let's try and keep it. The fuel's burned off a little bit, and now I'm starting to find a bit of pace. I've managed to pull away from Norris and increase the gap back to 2 seconds. Also, the gap to Perez hasn't really gone up too much. Still a large gap though, 7.8, but I'm starting to get a bit quicker, and tyre wear isn't an issue, so we can definitely one-stop this onto the medium. I'm managing to keep my tyre temps under control as well, so let's see what we can do here.
Michael is coming in for his stop.
Michael Schumacher pits, along with Sainz and a few others. Perez and Norris all stay out, so that's fine. Whoa, my god, that was close. Perez still staying out.
We're going to box this lap. Push hard on the in-lap.
Norris staying out as well, so it seems like we're stretching for mediums, whereas everyone else that's pit so far is going for hards. And Perez pits. We're going to go for one more. Hopefully Perez finds himself in a little bit of traffic, maybe. He's going for the hard tyre, to be fair. That's a bonus. Norris pits as well. I reckon we could make the soft last a couple more laps. I feel okay, actually. The pace is decent. I've been super consistent pace-wise. Looks like Perez is in a little bit of traffic. No, he's got clean air. Fair enough. Still, the pace was okay. I reckon I can go as fast as Perez, who's on a fresh hard on this old soft. So let's see if I can make that happen. I'd like to extend 1 or 2 more laps if possible. We'll go 1 more. Gap to Perez hasn't really changed, but I will pit this lap.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Alright, let's box. Decent in lap. Medium selected. Easy does it. There we go. Now Perez was catching, to be fair. A little bit on that lap. Gap 14.1. I had to really concentrate on that in lap. I was pushing as hard as I could, but I still don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Perez is just really fast. Unless he DNFs, I don't think we're in this race, but we'll get P2 hopefully. Here we go.
Go now.
3 seconds, not the best stop you'll ever see, but we should be fine ahead of Sainz.
Only 1 stop to go. 1 stop left in this strategy.
Getting through this awkward pit exit, and we get a warning as well. Not great, just had a slight correction. Anyway, we're 10.5 seconds behind Perez on fresh mediums. I'll see what I can do. The hard tyre usually is pretty slow here, but Perez has such a pace advantage, I think he's going to be fine, but we'll give it our best shot. Schumacher pits. Purple sector 3, first signs promising. The gap already down to 9.9. Let's see. Half a race to go. We're going to have to do qualifying laps every single lap whilst on 2 warnings for track limits to try and catch Perez here. Oh.
Okay, watch your pace. We've been informed that the safety car is out.
Okay.
There appears to have been an issue with multiple stopped vehicles on the track.
Now this is a W. I'm telling you now, the gods up in the sky want me to win this race. This is a massive, massive present. And also Michael Schumacher's in P4, by the way. I think he's 2 stopping, but still. P4 on the track, that's good to see. But safety car deployed, that is huge. Absolutely huge. We're on fresh mediums. The gap to Perez is going to be suppressed, and it could give us a chance of winning. It's not guaranteed. Perez is still very strong, but we've got a chance. Uh-oh, Michael hasn't pit. Again, just lack of IQ decision from the AI, whereas ILOT and multiple other cars are going to pit. Unless Michael tries to go to the end, but that makes no sense. It's just going to basically drop him out the points when he does pit. Another stupid decision from the AI.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
I don't know why co-masters have removed the ability to like have full control. We're just constantly under the limiter. I had it in a league race the other day. It's a terrible thing because you just can't warm up your tyres when you really want to. You're just going to have to do a bit of the old-fashioned warm-up here. Let's see if we get Perez here. This might be our best shot, actually. If we can time this restart. Overtake on. And here we go. This might be our best crack at it. So we're going to go straight away. Look at this. Side by side with Perez. On the run down to turn 1 on this race restart. Up the inside we go. Perez on the outside, leaving space at all times. Inside for turn 3. Yes. We've got it. Not over yet though. We're going to have to make sure we get a good exit, which we do. Lovely stuff. Michael might even challenge it. That'd be fantastic if that was the case. But crucially, we've got the race lead, and that's all we wanted on these fresh mediums. Let's see if we've got the pace on these to pull away. Maybe try and open up a gap, maybe even pull out of the DRS range. That'd be fantastic if so. It's a shame Michael has to stop again because his pace has been great all weekend, but he's thrown it away because of a terrible strategy call. Otherwise, he could be on for a podium. Nonetheless, hopefully he can try and get busy with Sergio and keep the other cars behind. I'm going to try and pull away now, see if I can maybe even go for a fastest lap or so. Oh, Mazepin out of the race. Another retirement. He's pulled over on the pit straight. Got a few cars in the pit, so it seems like there's been a bit of chaos on the restart. Further back, meanwhile, we're pushing on here. I've got the gap to Perez that I want, and he's out of my DRS as we enter the final sector, which is my strongest sector. Trying to push for a fastest lap. Not sure if we'll have enough in the tank, but I'll give it a shot anyway. I think a 14.4 is the fastest lap. Not really close enough to that, unfortunately, but still, look at the gap we have to Perez. To be fair, Michael's pulling away from Norris here, so
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
this is looking pretty decent at the minute. We're good to win, but I want to see if Michael can hang in there, which so far he is. We will set an improved personal best. Not enough for a fastest lap, but still another 2 tenths shaving off.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Now, crucially, Michael's got himself within DRS range of Perez and is dropping Lando. So, yeah, at the minute, we're in the driver's seat. All we've got to do now is keep it clean, realistically, to the end and not get that final warning. Still 11 laps to go. We're already 2/3 of the way through the race still. But if we keep this clean, we're looking good. And there we go. Michael finally pits.
Michael is in the pits. Michael in the pits.
His pace was very good, so I think he can fight back. Hopefully he goes for a set of softs to really get himself back in the race. There's been a lot of crashes and carnage on the restart, so the field's already quite spread out. So I think Michael could still bag a few points, actually, if he goes for softs and goes aggressive. Matching our personal best, a couple of strong laps there, increasing the gap to 2.5. I'm getting stronger. Reason being is because the fuel's burning, and it's more like qualifying now. So in qualifying, we're a bit more competitive, which is a rare thing for me to say, but we were close in qualifying, and we was, equal pace of Perez in qualifying. So yeah, we're getting that better performance now with the fuel burning off, which is helping us out. And there we go, personal best. Purple sector 3, gap to Perez 2.8. Even if we get the penalty now, I think we might just be safe if I can keep pushing this gap up, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build that safety net in case I get a final warning. And another personal best. Very good lap, shaving off quite a bit of time that time into the fours. Tsunoda just went purple with a 14.1, so we're not going to get the fastest lap. But the gap to Perez now 3.5. We're safe. Let's bring this home.
We've been awarded a time penalty. We'll go against our finishing time at the end of the race.
Not ideal. Gonna have to get back on it then, because Perez will start pushing on the last 2 laps. Right, good response. On for a personal best. Perez, to be fair, is responding. He's not dropping back by much. Gap is 3.8, 3.9. I think he's going to start pushing. This is what I've got. So Perez could win this still. We need to give it everything. Okay, Perez has put the afterburners on. Here we go. The chase is on. He's catching me now. Purple sector 3. This is exactly what we want. Let's try and hang in there if we can for this last lap. This is going to be on the limit. Perez is trying, but the final sector is mile 1. And we're going to hold on. I think we're even going to set a personal best as well on the very last lap. What a race. A gift from the gods. And we win in Portugal, exactly what we wanted.
Great drive. We did it. Good job.
Well, that might not have been the finest race in history, but there's no question it was a critical win. Ant, talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
Well, the W goes up in the left-hand side of the screen, as you can see, as we pick up a massive win. Our first win since Bahrain in the first race of the season, but crucially, a big one to fight back in the championship, because we scored no points in the last one in Imola, and Verstappen won the race. Well, this time, it's Verstappen who scores no points, and we pick up a full 25. Overall, a great race. We hold on even with the 3-second time penalty ahead of Perez and Norris, who gets Mercedes' first podium of the season, I believe. Ocon P4 for Alpine, great drive ahead of Bottas. Lundgaard P6 in Aston Martin colours, along with Mick Schumacher, P7 in the Haas. What a performance from him ahead of Matsushita. And then Gasly, Sainz, and Michael Schumacher just missing out on the points in P11. Eilert also missing out along with Leclerc, Tsunoda, who got the fastest lap, Giovinazzi, Russell, Latifi, and then Schwartzman, Mazepin, Ricciardo, Stroll, Verstappen, all out of the race here today. So, looking at the standings after 4 rounds this season, myself and Max are split by 3 points. It's very close, and we go to the next race, round 5 at Monaco. Actually, no, Spain, actually, I believe. We brought that one back for this season. Perez up to P3 with that podium, getting himself up the sharp end, and then further down, Michael Schumacher down in P17. What could have been had he pit under the safety car, man. not ideal. But in the constructors, we're second, still hanging in there. But I need Michael to stop making these mistakes, and I need the team to help, you know, and just try to get this together, because we've got to try and fight back, man. I want this constructors title, but you know, Perez and Verstappen are very strong. Anyway, that is it for the race here today, guys, at Portugal. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more. It massively helps me out. Let's try and smash over 1,300 likes. And as I mentioned in the intro, if you want to subscribe, we're on the road to 100k, so want to help me out, I'd massively appreciate it. As always, a big thank you and shout out to the channel members for supporting my content. As always, check out 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. But that is it from me here today at Portimao, and I'll see all of you next time in Spain.